Hey, number 0729 got your card, and I know you're talking on here about dealing with the desire and temptation just to have attention and to always be heard, and just, feeling like you have to do something cool all the time for friends or just people around you to, feel like to fit in and like you and things. And so, honestly, I feel like there needs to be a moment of rebuke right now. So this might sound a little harsh, but ultimately, I want you to realize and know where you have this pressure, and hopefully, I hope this is a relieving thing, but where you feel this pressure to always do something cool, to have the attention and to be heard. I want to relieve some of that pressure and remind you that the story is not about you. The whole story of, the universe and story of time, it is not ultimately about you. It's not about me. It's not about Corey. It's not about your parents. It's not about your siblings or your best friend. It's not about any of us. The story is ultimately only about Jesus. Immediately I thought of the verse John 3:30 says, He, being Jesus, He must increase and I must decrease. And that is a hard mindset, but that's really ultimately the mindset as Christians that we are called to remember that Christ is the only one who is worthy of glory and honor and praise. And so we want to elevate Him and His story, and that we would kind of fade into the shadows, that our lives would only be here to help make much of Jesus. And God's gifted you for reasons, giving you talents, giving you different things about your personality that are unique to you, different things that are your strengths and you're good at, because He wants to use your story. He wants to use your life as a way to make much of Jesus and to point to Jesus Christ and what He did on the cross for the world. And so that's the thing I want you to hear first and foremost. I don't think you need to live, or I know for a fact you don't need to live with the pressure of always being cool or being seen or being heard, or just what am I going to say next that people are going to hear, or how can I gather more attention? Because ultimately the story is not about you. It's not about me. It's not about any of us. It's about increasing Jesus. And so I want you to hear that, but then too, I just want you to hear the truth that I think there's still some identity stuff in here of, do you know that your identity is rooted in Jesus? And that all just goes back to the story is not ultimately about you, but also where you feel this pressure to, be the center of attention, and just look for that approval from the people around you. Do you realize that God already is crazy about you? Jesus looked down at you and said, yes, even if number 0729 was the only person that walked the face of the earth, it would be worth it for me to come back to earth and die on the cross for that person, for singularly you. I love I believe it's Isaiah, there's a passage where God talks about having our name engraved on the palms of His hands. He knows every hair that exists on your head. He is just overwhelmed with His love for you. And so really, I want you to hear that too of, do you believe that? Do you believe that God has your name on His palms and just is so enamored and in love with you and delights over you? Because when we realize and remember that too, it helps relieve some of that pressure to feel like, oh man, I've got to say something cool. I've got to be the center of attention because I've got the attention of the King of the universe. I have Him delighting over me, and I have that love relationship with Him, and that is way more satisfying than anything you might feel as you walk through your halls at school or on whatever sports team or activity or club you're on. The knowing that the King of the universe loves you and delights over you and is crazy about you, man, that is so much more satisfying and fulfilling than anything that someone else might say to you, or even the attention you might get in your class or amongst your peers. So let your identity be rooted in Jesus, and then from that too, let it propel you to want to make much of Him. And so even as you are feeling like you have this desire and need to be heard, man, what are you trying to say? Are you trying to say, yeah, I've got all this to share, I've got these awesome stories to tell? Because like I said, at the end of the day, it's not about us. My words don't have much to share or much meaning, but the story about who Jesus is and His word and His truth and what He's done for us, that is life-changing stuff. So as you are given opportunities to share, let it be about increasing Jesus, sharing the hope of the gospel, sharing the hope of truth that Jesus delights over not just you, but everyone around you. And yeah, as He increases, we would decrease, because the story is ultimately about him anyways. We love you, number 0729. Thankful for you sharing. Feel free to come talk to us anytime if you want to talk about this more.